What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm really excited because I finally got access to MultiOn, which is probably one of the best web browser agents out there right now. And they're in beta test, but I went on their Discord, I requested the beta access, and I finally got access. So today what we're going to be doing is I set up a set of tasks that I would like to use to test the model's capability, right? The agent's capability to browse, use my browser and perform. And we're going to be assessing using these tasks as a kind of like playground to uh, experiment and report on the models and the app's capabilities and see what it does well, what it doesn't do so well, and hopefully that's going to be useful to you so that you know and you know what to expect if you want to go ahead and use this particular app, right? So the first task that I set up is this task called booking with Airbnb. So I actually have to go to Oslo, Norway in a couple of weeks. So let's try it out and see if we can do that with MultiOn. So I'm going to say book an Airbnb in Oslo for me between April 2nd and April 9th. Uh, Pick a good option that balances price and rating. All right, so now let's hit do it and let's see how well the model performs. So usually it takes a few seconds for the agent to start taking control of the browser. But once it goes, it goes. So now it took control. So now I went on Airbnb. It's writing down, and I could hit on this turn voice on, and it would be describing what the task, what is it doing while it's doing the task. But I don't like that option very much. I find it very annoying. So I shut that down. So it went to Airbnb, it's searching for the option and it's describing what it's doing here on this chat interface. Let's say I'm clicking on the when button to re-enter the correct check-in and check-out dates. I'm clicking on the already selected start date, April 2nd, to ensure that it's between the 2nd of April and the 9th of April. So far it looks pretty good. So let's take a look. It's actually saying anywhere, which is weird, but I guess that now it's going to put the destination. Let's take a look. For Oslo, okay. All right, clicking on the dates tab to ensure it has the correct section. Okay, so the date is correct, but it is looking for anywhere instead of looking for Oslo, which is weird. I tested this just a while ago and it did correctly put Oslo, but now it's not doing it correctly. Okay, now it's searching for Oslo. Hopefully now it will set the date to the correct interval. So far, it's not doing such a great job. All right. I think it's because it set a filter that does make a lot of sense. Navigating directly to the search results. Okay, minimum price of 9 euros. All right. So let's see. So it's doing a lot of redundant and irrational type of actions, which is a bit weird. So it's I think it's because I wrote it down that it should balance price and rating. It kind of the focus of the agent went on messing with the filters of the price, which is quite weird. So I'm going to put here under booking with Airbnb that putting specifics about choice option confuses the agent. All right, so this is my first note on that. So let's try it again. Okay, I'm gonna, let's say, start over. So I'm gonna say book an Airbnb to Oslo between April 2nd to April 9th. Make sure to pick a, yeah, let's just say that for now, because it's a slightly easier prompt. And I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to copy the prompts that I use so that we can have some sort of assessment that's a bit more concrete and objective based on things that we actually wrote it down. So I'm going to say here prompt, and let's see performance. And here, same thing. So I'm going to put it here prompt, and then performance notes or something like that. Performance notes. And then like this. Yeah. So prompt and then performance notes. Now it seems that it's doing a better job. So let's see what happens. So it's attempting to correct the checkout date. So it's having issues with selecting the check-in and checkout dates, which is a bit weird. Requested by the user, air booking Oslo. Okay, let's see. Okay, Oslo, got it right. Clicking the next button to navigate to the next set of dates in the calendar. Okay, so it only put the correct destination. Let me just see. I don't think that that's a factor, but I'm just gonna see if I use the entire browser rather than a split, like a split window, if that has any effect. I don't think it does, but I don't know how the agent actually works on the browser itself, so I'm not sure. And let's try that again. Let's go back to the original dashboard page, and there you go. And let's say, book an Airbnb to Oslo, Norway, for me between April 2nd, April 2, April 2nd, and April 9th. Let's hit do it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now it went to the destinations, clicking the search bar to change the search parameters for the booking. Okay, so Oslo, Norway, April 2nd, April 9th. Perfect. So far it's doing well. Okay, hopefully we'll put one adult. Let's see. It didn't put one adult, but so far it's doing well. So it's looking, I'm scrolling down to view more listings and find a suitable Airbnb. This is kind of neat because the suitability of the booking was not a requirement in the prompt. So that's something built in the agent. So it has some kind of helpfulness feature that is predefined in the agent itself. So that's pretty neat. So then it says, I have selected room in Gamle Oslo, listing to proceed with the booking process for the Airbnb, as it offers a good balance between price and rating, in line with the user's objective. So I don't really see what it did. So it didn't do the full booking. The last thing that it did was to pick this option, which seems like a really good option, actually. That's pretty neat. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I actually might take on this option. But yeah, so this is booking with Airbnb. It didn't go through with the entire booking. It After it picked the option, it kind of stopped doing its thing. So let's check if, so I'm gonna put this in the initial prompt. So this is the prompt that I use for this option. So let's come back here and let's say this is not very well written right now, but I'll organize this information later. So this is the booking that I did. And performance notes for that. Prompt this, performance notes, and then prompt this, performance. I'm just gonna say notes. Performance notes too big. So it got it right, but it stopped before the actual booking. I don't know if that's built in that it's not supposed to do the final action. So I'm gonna test that by saying perfect, complete the booking now. So let's see what happens when I say complete the booking and I run this command. So again, it takes a few seconds to start. I'm clicking on the room in Oslo to access the detail page and proceed with the booking process. Perfect. Okay, so go ahead and click. So it keeps saying that's clicking on the option, but it's not actually clicking on the option. I don't know if it's the search bar, the chat bar that's on top of the option in the page. And now I've attempted to access the page. The content does not provide a direct option to book. Listings marked as selected, indicating that it has been interacted with, but there's no further action available to finalize the booking. Could you provide guidance on how to proceed? I mean, how much guidance do I have to give the agent? The options right there. So let's see if it was just a matter of like not being able to click on the option. So just click on the option, wait for the page to load and proceed. Let's see if that helps in in any way. Okay, so for some reason it's not really clicking on the correct option. I mean, it is clicking over there in the left, but it's not getting it correctly. So it keeps saying it's clicking on the room option, but it doesn't click on the room option, which gets kind of annoying. Could you please clarify? I mean, come on. I can just do it myself, right? So, all right. I'm a bit disappointed with the booking Airbnb option, but whatever. So I'm gonna do this as checked, and I'm gonna consider that booking Airbnb failed. And this is just my opinion based on these tests that I'm doing in front of you and just looking through the options, right? I think it did quite well a lot of things, so that was pretty cool. And the fact that, you know, it got through quite far with the booking option. I mean, it did find a decent suitable room, so that was pretty neat, but it did not get through with the booking, which is what I wanted in the first place. So now let's evaluate the second option, which is booking a flight with google.com /flights. So this is going to be the first prompt that I do. I'm just going to say book a flight with google.com, there's more flights, etc., etc. So let's head over to MultiOn again. Oh shit. Okay, so apparently, from what I can see here, it did click on the option, but the browser didn't change to that page for some reason. So that's interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna say fail. It was kind of like let's instead of saying fail, let's say score. I'm gonna give this a 6, right? Why? Because I mean it did click on the option, but the browser for some reason just it clicked in a way so that it opened a new tab, and then it could not go to that new tab, and it got stuck in this tab, and I'm not sure why it got stuck on this tab because I just let it run So I didn't do anything. However, it did click on the correct option, but it did not proceed. And then it was asking for clarifications. I mean, if you're going to be doing clarifications, you might as well just do the booking yourself, right? Okay, so instead of saying it kind of, I'm going to say failed just because it didn't actually do the booking, but the score is like a 6. Let's say 6, 5, 5.5. I don't know. Okay, so now let's try booking a flight with Google.com. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to here. I'm gonna go to MultiOn. Yeah. Let's go to the main dashboard. All right, bye-bye. And now let's say book a flight with Google.com flights from Lisbon to Brazil between, let's try something, let's try dividing this into search for flights and return the top 3 options and then book a flight, right? So let's split that into these 2 tasks just to see how well it does the search and how well it does the booking, and the actual booking. So let's say search for the top 3 options for flights with good.com flights from Lisbon to Brazil between, and then we're gonna say, let me just do it like this. And this search bar could be a bit bigger. There we go. Oh, no, like this, yeah. And it's gonna be between April 30th and May, let's say May 10th. All right. Let's click on do it and let's see if it can at least search for the best options and then return those or write those in the little chat box thing that it has on the bottom. So it went to google.com flights, it's putting the correct location. So it's Lisbon, Brazil. Perfect so far. Loving it. Now let's see, round trip departure. Hopefully we'll put round trip because it's a round trip. So I put one way, which is bad, right? Because I said from April 30th to May 10th. So I perfectly specified that. Clicking round trip. Okay. All right. So we're back to correct. Beautiful. No, it's one way again. I have no idea what this agent is doing at this point. I think it's kind of like getting confused about whether or not to use either round trip to one way, which I don't really get why would that be confusing, but let's see. Share your accessibility. I have no idea what is it doing now. Now that's just confusing. Typing Lisbon into departure city. All right. Okay, so it's getting confused in this website quite a bit, and I don't think that that has any reason to be confused. I mean, obviously, there's a bunch of reasons that we know of, like the difficulty of doing this type of desktop automation is like clear. That's why there's so many tools out there trying to do this, and so many fail because there's so many difficulties with like handling HTML and scraping information, etc. But I would expect that would not have so much trouble with just searching for flights. Okay. And now it's just, again, with the one way, no idea why it's wasting time there. It's interesting how it gets stuck in these random weird loops. Correcting departure city. I mean, it had already corrected this departure city before. And it's again trying that again. No idea why. Let's see if it's an issue with the fact that I'm using the browser split. So let me just pause this I'm going to click on start over. I'm going to make this big. I am going to go back. Okay, here we are. And now let's say that again. So search for flights between Lisbon and Brazil, São Paulo, Brazil, between from April 30th to May 10th. Let's click on do it and let's see if it does a good job this time. Okay, so I did forget to say that was with google.com flights, but apparently this is the default option, so that's good. Okay, so it's saying Lisbon, São Paulo, perfect so far, so good. Yes, let's see if this time it gets the departure dates, the comeback dates, the return dates, and everything correct. Okay, so April 30th, perfect. So now it's saying May 7th. Now it's getting weird and confused. So now I specifically said from April 30th to May 10th. So maybe I have to be more specific about specifying departure dates and return dates because apparently the model doesn't do a good job of interpreting just basic common folk language, apparently. I mean, it is doing something. Let's see. Now, okay, we're back to April 30th. Okay, this is correct. This is what I asked. And returning on May 10th. Yeah. So the agent kind of has this correct representation. All right. So now it's searching the correct flight. Perfect. And now it's memorizing some information, which is pretty neat. Okay, so now, all right. Okay, so this one was pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 4 just because it got the actual information right, but it did get stuck in these redundant loops with changing the dates. So so I'm not gonna give it a 5, but this one was pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna copy the prompt that I used for this one. So search for flights. So my notes on this one, search for flights, etc. So I'm gonna say here prompt was something like this. This was the prompt that I use, and let me just put this big again. This was the prompt that I used, and let me just go back and make it slightly bigger. Uh, and I think that at this point, some comments here, some notes would be it gets stuck it gets easily stuck in redundant loops, making slightly illogical repetitive actions. Like for example, changing departure dates and things like that. So for this one, I would say that the score, so this one was like a success. And the score here would be, I would give it a 7.5. I would give it an 8. Because, I mean, it was a pretty easy task, right? Just searching for the flights. Let's see how well it does booking a flight, all right? So since this prompt worked, I'm going to say book flights. Yeah, I'm going to say, so let's start over. I'm going to say book a flight between from Lisbon in São Paulo Brazil. Depart. And this time I'm going to specify departure date April 30th, return date May 10th. Let's see how well it does that. So I'm going to click run. Obviously, if I see that it does everything perfect and it's about to book the flight, I might stop it. But I don't think we're going to get that far based on the difficulties the model had with the previous stuff. Hmm. Okay, apparently it's using the okay, so apparently it just since I was already in the browser page, it just memorized some information about the prices of different options for flights, and it stopped and asked for a rating. That was terrible action because that's not booking a flight. So I'm gonna use the same prompt, but we're gonna start from the dashboard again. So to see just if the agent can actually perform the actual task, right? So I'm gonna go to MultiOn. Okay, and now let's see. I'm gonna come here, MultiOn. Perfect. And now I'm gonna paste the prompt. And we're gonna hit do it and see how well it does the booking of the flight. So now let's see. So it put on Google flights from Lisbon to São Paulo on April 30th, return May. So that's great. Navigating to Google search to find options for flights. It's perfect. Let's see if it actually goes to the web page and finds the departure date, return date, correct locations for destination, etc. And then actually books the flight. So now we're already bad because I said google.com flights and the agent is in Expedia. Maybe I can check whether, yeah, definitely didn't say Expedia, but let's see what happens. But it's kind of cool. Like in this case here, I'm waiting for the option to load, selecting the Angola Airlines flight option. All right, so I gotta stop it at some point because apparently it will. Okay, it is doing a booking. It is going quite far. I have no idea what Angola Airlines is. If we're going to Brazil, I've never used them, but it is doing something. Issuing a wait command to refresh the page and check if we can proceed. This is pretty cool. The waiting, the ability to wait for things to load, etc. This is a pretty neat capability. Okay, but I don't like the fact that it went to this website and then it stopped again. It appears that after selecting and attempting to proceed, page has not advanced to the next step. Okay, I think that means that no, yeah, it really didn't go to anywhere. Okay, so, okay, so, I mean, it went quite far, but it went on the wrong website. Ah, but that's on me. Okay, so that's on me. It went on this website because I did not specify that I wanted the agent to book it with google.com /flights. So that's on me, and that's all right because we can say start over. So I like the UI that they set up. I feel like it's super intuitive and the process is very simple to get started. So I do like a lot of stuff about this app. Uh, and yeah, I mean, it can definitely do some complex stuff. So let's say MultiOn. Let's go to the webpage again. And now let's say book a flight using google.com flights from Lisbon to São Paulo, departure date and return date. So let's see if it works. Now again, we wait a few seconds for the agent to start taking control of the browser. So now we're at google.com flights. So that's pretty easy and fast. So it's typing in correctly. It's typing in the destination apparently correctly. No, maybe not. Round trip. Here we go again. One way again. No idea why this agent does that. Okay, so setting departure date. At this point, I think the agent is taking way too long to do something as simple as putting departure dates. But this is coming from a very privileged position of now that the agents are this good, I'm like, oh, but it doesn't do this right, it doesn't do the right. So I admit that I'm being a bit picky. Okay, so we got Lisbon, but it didn't put the destination. At this point, I'm like, come on. Clicking on flight search. I mean, it's gonna search flights to where? It did not put the destination correctly. It's saying that scrolling to view available flights, but there are no available flights. There are no available flights because it did not press this explore or the search button. Yeah, but it understood that the button did not yield expected results. So what I think happened is it was not able to properly click the button, but it thought it clicked the button. So this is kind of like you get into a bit of a it's like it's a trip. It's a trip. You can smoke some weed and then watch this agent do this thing. It's pretty interesting. Maybe you should not smoke weed. Maybe you should. I don't know. All right. So at this point, I'm like, come on. Ooh, so yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. I feel like the prompt was clear enough, and this was an easy enough task. But let's not be, let's give the LLM some time. Yeah, and now it's just stuck forever. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, this gets annoying. So okay, so this was a failure because I'm not gonna be here all day waiting for this thing to run. So let's just click on start over. And let's put here that so far booking flight. So let's see for this prompt. This thing with the letters. So this prompt notes, they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad so far. But let's not give up on booking a flight. Let's just try something else, all right? I'm gonna go to MultiOn again because these tasks need to be executed from the beginning. And because we want to see if the agent can actually automate the process, right? So let's go there. And remember, this app is in beta, so it's not like it's supposed to be amazing or anything. And I think that it does do a pretty amazing job at some things. So let's try to see if we can help it. Book a flight with Google.com from Lisbon to São Paulo, not and São Paulo, with departure date and return date May 10th. All right, so let's try that again. Again, it takes a few seconds to set up the automation. Here we go. We went on google.com flights, setting up the departure location, so Lisbon. I like that it explains what it's doing. I don't like the voice speaking what it's doing, but I do like the text because you can get this. It's kind of like if you know Linksmith from LangChain, which is this evaluation platform where you can inspect the intermediate outputs of an agent. So this chat kind of works like that in a way. So it's interesting. I kind of like it. And now here we are. So departure date is correct. Oh no. So I really don't like the fact that it gets confused about the type of trip. It's pretty obvious what kind of trip we're talking about, right? So let's hope that this thing does a good job of selecting departure date and return date. And it actually goes for the flights. Let's see. Selecting May 7th as the return date, closest available date, because, okay, so May 10th was not available apparently, but now it's doing May 12 to May 12th. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. And now I reset it. No idea why. And now I reset it again. And it's restarting the search. Okay. So at this point, I see a few issues, right? With like having to repeat these tasks that much. So it's kind of interesting because if you've used AutoGPT or these tools, these long-running agent, LLM-based agent tools, you know that these issues occur where sometimes the agent will get stuck in a loop and it won't know how to proceed. But let's give it a chance. It definitely has the ability to perform quite a few correct actions for a task that I know is complicated given the complexity of the UI interfaces for these browsers. But there we go, Friday. So from May 10th to May 10th, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And now it's resetting the search for the flight. I mean, I'm gonna give it one more chance and then I'm gonna call it because I'm not gonna be waiting here forever to see if the flight gets booked, right? I would book it myself. And I think that it's interesting because robustness and reliability is something that really can kill apps like these. So I think that we should all take into consideration that MultiOn is in beta right now, and there's a reason, right? People like me are experimenting with this thing because they're curious, they're interested, but this is not a full-fledged production app yet because of issues like these, right? Because if you kind of kill the trust with the user by not being a reliable enough app, obviously the users will drop the app, right? So I do see a lot of interesting things here, and if there's like a way to make it easier for the agent to perform obvious actions, then I think that we have a chance. And I know they have a feature called Skill that we're going to explore shortly. But let's see if we can still get this task correctly. So now it's setting the departure date to May 10th, which doesn't make any sense. Hopefully it will set it to the correct departure date. It will. Perfect. Okay, so apparently, okay, all right. So it did it correctly. Beautiful. Waiting on the results to load to proceed. Okay, so we're good. Finally, we got a bit ahead. Okay, so we got some options. Okay, okay, so we're doing well. Okay, so it's selecting a flight. I'm gonna scroll down to find the button or link to proceed with the booking process. Okay. Let's see if we can actually book. All right, it gets, let's see if it gets close to booking at least, right? So it is going through the options. Refreshing the page to ensure the elements are loaded properly. Okay. Let's see. Come on, come on. Lucas, I've encountered. All right, so it kind of did not get very far, but it did get to the page with the correct options after a lot of redundant researching and looping, right? The current page does not show options to proceed to check our payment. Yeah, because the idea here would be that it would select one of the options and it would have to go to another website to book it there, which is a complex task to perform, right? So it just failed to book a flight, which is expected, but it did get far enough, right? At least it got the dates, etc. However, I think it's the annoying part is the amount of redundancy to get to something as simple as getting to this page with the correct search flight options. But um, but it did get here, so that was pretty cool, right? So for booking flight, let's say another prompt here. And for this prompt, book a flight, blah, 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 blah. So notes would be, um, it got stuck in the flight options page. So the score for this one, I would say obviously failed. And the score would be like 5.5. I don't know, like a 6, like a 5, like a 5. I don't know. I think 5 makes sense, right? A 5. Okay. So let's see searching Google for information, right? So now we're gonna go ahead to MultiOn again, and let's start over. Let's say okay. So search Google, search search 5 lectures about LLM based agents. Okay. Search. Okay. So search Google for 5 lectures about. Now search Google for, let's see, which Google search we're gonna do. Search Google for for latest paper agents for web articles about the capabilities of LLM based AI agents. There you go. So that's my query. Okay, so search Google for articles about the capabilities of LLM-based AI agents. Let's click on do it and let's see what happens. All right, so let's see. It went on Google, capabilities of agents, beautiful. Memorize information, top 5 web articles. It entered the first article. Beautiful so far, I like it. Scrolling down to find information. Okay, we're doing well. Okay, okay. Okay, so if it goes through, okay, so it's now in the same page. That's annoying. I was hoping that it would go to the second page. Maybe it's struggling with scrolling for some reason. Hopefully, what I'm looking for is to see if it can actually go through multiple pages, right? Effectively. And it's interesting that it's actually researching web agents. Okay, so it's generating this little summary about web agents. I get the weird sense that it might be. Let's hope it will go to a different page this time. Click on the next link. Okay. Ah, I clicked on the same link again. Okay, so it's struggling with like going to different links, which is annoying. But it did, nope, that's the same link again. All right. Hopefully we'll recognize it's the same. So it's back on Google page. Let's see if it goes to the next page. All right. It's 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 going to the support page for Google. Don't know why. Oh, okay. So now it's going to the people also ask tab option. Okay, so now we're in a different page, I think. Okay, we're in a different page now. Perfect. And it's learning through the information. That's pretty cool. Yep, beautiful. Okay, I'm happy with the performance for reading through articles and searching multiple pages. I mean, it did struggle with select like going to multiple pages, but I like this idea of like goes to a page, reads up, summarizes, goes to the next one. It did that somewhat okay. And how did I do? You did like a 3. Seems I'm stuck in a loop of scrolling without finding information. Could you guide me on how to proceed? No, I can't. If I guide you, it's not the same. So yeah, so it clicked on these 2 pages apparently. Let me see if it clicked on this one. No, it didn't. If it did, I didn't see that in the actual output in the chat. But I mean, it did click through some stuff, right? It did click through 2 pages. So I'd say that for Google search, my notes right now, I'm just gonna put notes. I mean, it struggles with multiple pages, like going back and forth between Google search results and the web pages, but it did okay. So I would say that succeeded somewhat, but with a low score of like I'm gonna give it a 7. Okay, so we have Google search, booking a flight, we already did. Searching for flights, it did, it did okay. And now well, searching for scientific articles is going to be kind of similar. I do would like to try it out again with Google search. So let's say MultiOn, and I'm going to say, okay, so search Google for the top 3 results about a framework for thinking about prompt engineering. Uh, Prompt engineering. Search Google for the top 3 results about a framework for thinking about prompt engineering and summarize the results. And summarize the results. All right. So that's the prompt. So let's click on do it and let's see what happens. Okay, so we're back in the Google search page. It's memorizing some information. I don't know what information it is in memorizing, but okay, it clicked on the first link. Perfect. So I think that's going to help that I said top 3 articles. Let's see. So now it's going through some stuff. It's scrolling down. It's reading through some stuff. That's perfect. That was the goal. Let's see if it can, concatenate info on this page, the next one, the next one. Let's see. It has to go to the next one now. Beautiful. All right. So this time, now we're cooking. It kind of came back. I don't know why. Okay, but now it went again to the correct page. So that's a bit confusing, but okay. Hmm. So there are aspects of a web page that can make the agent think that it should go back, which is kind of confusing. You see, now it's stuck in this loop because every time it goes to, and now it went back to the first page. Okay, so searching Google multiple pages, I don't, I think it's struggling a bit, and to me at least, it seems like this is a simple enough task. So yeah, it didn't do very well because I specified top 3 pages. Went on the first, it went on the second, but yeah, it didn't do very well. Okay. I think that for these, I think that we've accomplished quite a bit today. The last one that I want to try is not the scientific articles. This is something I do all the time for my YouTube videos. So I want to see if we can do that. Copy the transcript of a YouTube video, okay? Just by giving it the link. So let's see if that happens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to some video that I did. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to view my channel, and I'm going to come here to my latest video about fast PDF summarization with Grok. and I'm gonna share, copy the link. Okay, so I'm gonna give it the full. No, let's do it better. Let's give the title of my video. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna come to this video. Beautiful. And now, yeah, and because I want to describe the YouTube channel, and let's see if it gets it right. And now let's come back here. I'm gonna say MultiOn. Okay, so now go to this video by the Automata Learning Lab YouTube channel and copy the entire video transcript. Transcript. Oh, it's weird. Okay, it's a bit confusing. Go to this video from the Automata Learning Lab YouTube channel and copy its transcript entirely. Okay, so let's see if that works. So let's click on do it. Let's see if it works. I don't know to what point we should always clear a chat before sending the agent to another task, but let's see if it does well. Memorizing, I don't know what's going on. It's, what? Okay, that's confusing. I don't know if it understood what I said. Mm, okay, so now it's performing something else for no reason. So let's just start over. Let's click to start over. Yeah, so many bugs to report. No, just kidding. Okay, so let's click on and let's give the prompt again. So the prompt is go to this video because I want to see if the agent can actually go to YouTube, find my channel, put the name, the title of the video, find the right video, and copy the transcript of that video. So let's click on do it again, and let's see if it works. Okay, so this video. So the planning is go to the URL, navigate this page. Okay, I already found it from Google, obviously, because the entire title. Okay, found the video super fast. Perfect. Let's see if we can find the transcript and copy it. That's gonna be stuff. That's gonna be tough because the transcript is in the more. You have to click the um, more button in the description of the video in order to be able to find the transcript. So I'm gonna explain that to the agent because that's not fair, right? Let's see if it can actually find it like that. So it's putting the video. Yes, I'm gonna write a comment here. When you go to the video, click on the more option in the video description to find the show transcript button. Okay, so let's see if that contributes to the agent's performance in this simple task. Let's see. But it definitely did a very good job of finding channel, searching the stuff. So when I say that, it didn't understand that when I say the more option, it's in the actual page of the video itself. So it did not do a good job of understanding the context of what I'm saying. So it did very badly on this task, but let's give it a chance again. Let's redo the prompt. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to explain a little bit more what it should do. Okay, so I'm going to go to MultiOn again, and I'm going to come here. I'm going to start over again. I'm going to paste that, but I'm going to add the information in the video page. Click in the more option in the video description, and then click in the show transcript to show the video transcript. Because it's not fair, right? Like it did not find the transcript option when it opened the YouTube page, which I guess we can say it's a reason not to distrust the performance. So it's now um no, it's now doing something random. And sometimes it performs actions that were previously defined. I don't know why. Yeah. Okay, so now this is the prompt with all the information about how to do that. So let's see. We click on do it. So it went to YouTube. Beautiful. So let's see if it finds the video and finds the transcript. Navigate to the search. Okay. Sometimes there are some weird delays. Like right now, there's no reason to have a delay. I don't get it, but let's see. So it's kind of like not moving. So I'm just gonna click go here. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see what happens. I think it clicked in the button by accident. So it went on the correct search bar. Let's see if it clicks enter and it goes to the video. Uh, It didn't click correctly. Scrolling, so it's scrolling when there's nothing to scroll. Okay, but now it's okay. So now, beautiful. I found the video, perfect. Let's see if we can go to the more option and show transcript. That's not the more options. It's clicking on the wrong thing. Yeah, so it didn't find the correct option. It's clicking more actions, which doesn't make sense. And this is just a dot, dot, dot. It's not more of anything. Okay, so this is the option that I wanted here. It says more. Click where it says more in the video description and copy the transcript in its entirety. Let's see if that works now. So I'm going to run this again within the page, which is already a little bit of cheating, but now it clicked on the right option. Perfect. And and I don't get it. It kind of refreshed the page and it went back to the dot dot dot. It had done correctly first, but now it went back and now it's going just random. I think that the clicking has some sort of irrational feature that sometimes it doesn't follow what it's being said by the agent in the chat. It's a bit weird. And now it just doesn't make any sense. It's not clicking on the more option. It's getting stuck in the loop now. Honestly, I feel like this is a total failure. I'm good with this at this point. This is too many failures for a simple task, so let's just call it. So yeah, copying the transcript just failed. Failed. It finds the video, so I'm gonna give it like a 4, like a 5. Score, it's a 5. It finds the video, but it doesn't copy the transcript. It doesn't, it, it's like it doesn't find its way to finding the show transcript option. All right, so folks, I think that this is good enough for now. Let me just open up here. So I think MultiOn is pretty cool. I know that we kind of went after it in this video, but that's just because I think it's a really promising, interesting tool. It did fail on some things that I think are basic tasks, but they're basic for us. Obviously, browsing the internet is a really complex problem just because of the variety of options that you have and the things that you have to do and understand that you have to do. But yeah, this is probably one of the best web browser agents that exists right now. It's still very unreliable on certain things, but that's why it's in beta, right? And if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description. And that's it. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Cheers.